Hey everyone, it's Melanie. I was going to do a technique video like I normally do, but instead I wanted to talk to you guys about something different about martial arts, which is martial arts philosophy. More importantly, or more accurately, my martial arts philosophy when it comes to the martial arts. Um, so here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and break down into a few different things. First off, we're going to go and just talk about the techniques and why we do certain things when it comes to techniques. And then we're also going to talk about kata, as well as a few other little small aspects and things like that. So first off, techniques. When we do techniques, one of the biggest things that a lot of students have issues with, which I understand it's a little difficult sometimes, is the breathing aspect. Okay, so every single block, every single punch, every single kick, you should be doing what is called breathing. Okay, that part just shh or like you're blowing out a candle. This helps expel excess energy, and you're not holding it in, and you don't get tired as fast. So every movement, when it comes to like bobbing and weaving or moving around, every block, every punch, every kick, all those things, you should be breathing. So high-level athletes, martial artists, and many other people understand that the breathing aspect helps you expel the energy in a proper way. If you hold your breath while you're doing those movements, while you're blocking or punching or kicking, that gets held up, and then you get out of breath faster. You end up getting tired faster. So breathing is a huge and very important thing when it comes to martial arts. Another thing is the kiai. So the kiai, where during your kata, or whenever we count to 10, and we're like, okay, 10 on, kiai on 10, and yeah, it's the same thing, which where I'm working at now. You can see behind me, we have some stuff right here in my new background. What we say over here at my current employment is that kiai is an Asian word, which it is. It's a Japanese word, and it actually means explosive energy. It doesn't mean explosive energy. It's actually a term used to describe explosive energy. It's that energy that you have, that you explode out with every strike, with a punch, with a kick. During your kata, like at a certain point, that's when you do the kiai, and that allows you to go ahead and push out that extra energy through that punch, or move a little bit faster and things like that. So doing that is also part of the breathing aspect. Let's talk about the katas as well. So the katas, I tell all my students, even the ones that I'm visiting for other instructors here with Active Stars, I let them know that the kata is. There's 5 things about a kata that you need to know. Okay, one is your technique. You need to know your technique. If you don't know your technique, then you're not doing it right. 2 is timing. 3 is breathing. That includes the kiai. 4 is power, and number 5 is memorization. Okay, if you don't know your kata, if you don't memorize your kata, then how are you going to do it properly? Now, kata, there's different ways of saying kata. So you have kata, form, pattern. Each style has a different way of saying it. So depending on which style that you're training in will determine what it is. But since I do Japanese martial arts primarily, I'm going to say kata. So let's say I'm doing a Wing Chun form, which is also a kata, the form. If I don't have it memorized, it doesn't matter what my techniques are. It doesn't matter what my power is. It doesn't matter what my timing is, and all the other aspects of that 5 points to it. If I don't have it memorized, I'm not doing it correctly. I'm not doing the kata correctly. So everyone starts off at white belt and yellow belt doing form 1. And for Active Stars, we all do the exact same form. So that first kata, you need to have that one memorized. Then the timing and breathing should always go hand in hand, because each movement should be one breath. In a previous video, you guys saw me do kata form 1, part 1 and 2. And each one, every movement, I did a specific amount of timing by using my breath. So I would breathe in through my nose, just like that, and each one was a movement. So my block, every block and every punch, every step was that movement, and that movement, the timing came with my breath. So you're not going it too fast, you're not doing it too slow. Also, another part that goes with the timing, other than just the breathing, is the technique. So that's part 3, is the technique. Now when you're doing it, each technique needs to have that specific movement. So every punch, let's say that I'm doing my punch right here, as you guys can see, from my elbow, just like I've told many of my students before, my punch comes up right here. As soon as it touches my elbow and my side touch, that's when I turn for the punch. It's the same thing when it comes to the blocks. Touching the shoulder and then dragging it down for that low block to snap out. All those are different parts of the technique. So if you're doing the technique correctly, your timing will come in, based on your timing and your breathing, you'll get it. It'll sound better, it'll look better, and I promise you it's just going to be amazing. The next part, of course, is power. And power comes with technique. So it doesn't matter how big and strong you are. I mean, you guys can see I'm not very big. I'm pretty small. So, but I have a lot of power, and a lot of my students, whenever we did our tournaments, our in-class tournaments after our belt test, I would have my rebreakable boards, and you use your technique, you use your breath, you use your ki to break through those boards. So that was a huge thing that I used to do a lot with for students, so they can go ahead and see how that timing, that power, the technique all came together. So once again, memorization, power, technique, timing, and breathing. Those 5 things is what you need for your kata. Let's go back one step back to the techniques. When it comes to the striking, punches and kicks, when it comes from the striking, you never just strike the surface, ever. So I'm going to use this bottle as an example, okay? If I'm punching this bottle, I'm not punching here. I'm punching here, through it. So instead of stopping right here when I punch, I'm actually going to punch through it, and that's what gives me more power, and that's part of the technique. And every punch is that breath. So all the way through. Don't punch stopping right here. Punch past it. Kick past it. This is going to make sure that your power goes up higher. You go from down here to up here. And then, of course, with that breath or that ki that you're going to use, you want to go and do that. Another thing that I wanted to go ahead and talk to you about is, dojo etiquette. Make sure that whenever you see your instructor, or you see an instructor from another school, let's say that I'm out in Dallas, because I'm here in Houston, I'm out in Dallas, and I go to another Active Stars instructor, I'm going to bow to the instructor because it's their class. But also, not only that, but it shows respect. So if I see another instructor, I'm going to bow to them because, as from instructor to instructor, that's respect. Bowing is a way of greeting, it's a way of showing respect. So with martial arts, we also have a martial arts handshake that we do, which is something, it's a little bit different, but it is similar to what we normally would, like, just regular handshake. We have a specific style of handshaking with martial arts as well. But one of the biggest things that we do, instead of touching hands, because of what's going on with the virus and all the other stuff now that it's starting to calm down a little, but still, a lot of martial artists, we still do bows. We do bow to each other. Students should always bow, not only to their peers, but not only to their superior or higher belts, but also to the instructors. You see another instructor from a different school, bow, show respect. Hey, you earned that black belt, so, give a proper bow. Whenever you go into the training area, whether it's the gymnasium or the park or wherever you're training at with Active Stars, you should bow when you get there, bow when you get to the training area, because that is essentially the dojo or dojang, or whatever the term is used for your specific style. Before you get to that training spot, when you get on your cones, as you can see, I have my cones right here. These are mine. Whenever you get to the training spot, when you get to near those cones, that training area or that dojo area, that's like having mats at a traditional dojo or studio or whatever it's called, So bowing when you enter the area, bowing when you enter the training area, bowing to the instructor and higher rank, even bowing to lower ranks. That's perfectly fine and is something that should be definitely done with martial arts. Let's talk about one other thing that we do in Active Stars, the power of Os, which which I have my own personal thing about it. It's actually a slang thing in Japan. So a lot of traditional Japanese styles don't use Os. It is a slang term. Yes, it means essentially yes, or I understand, and many other things, but so does hai, Hai, which is the actual proper Japanese way of saying it. Os became very popular through judo and Brazilian jiu-jitsu primarily, because it was just a quick way of just showing that spirit and things like that. The power of Os is OSU, Os. That is its own thing, and honestly, if you do that at your school, great. If you do that with your students, great. That's something that you should be bringing up to the table with all of your students, all of your instructors, and many other things like that. That is something that it gives that team spirit. And with Active Stars, us currently not being able to do tournaments, things like that, definitely bring that to the table, because once tournaments start opening up, you want to go ahead and bring that. You want to represent your school, your instructor in such a high manner. So definitely do that. Me personally, while I was teaching with Active Stars, I never liked it because I'm a traditional Japanese jiu-jitsu. So we did hi, yes ma'am, no ma'am, things like that. Made it super easy. And for me, that was just my own thing, but power of Os, definitely use it. Also, lastly, there was one last thing that I wanted to talk to you about when it came to martial arts philosophy is the learning aspect. So as a student, when you're learning, there are two things that you just need to do: listen and learn. That's it. Try not to miss class. With Active Stars, you only get one class a week. And unfortunately, a lot of the instructors, we want to do more. A lot of us, we want to get the chance to teach you twice or three times a week. But unfortunately, we can't, especially when we have tournaments coming up and things like that, whenever that may be. And with me, doing, you saw my shirt earlier, I'm with a different company now, but I still do go visit and assist whenever I have time for the schools that I originally had, and I still want to do that. And whenever I get a chance to, I'll jump on it. So, but learn, listen. Every instructor. You may have your favorite instructor. I know for a lot of my students, I was one of their favorites. But the thing is that every instructor has something to offer that another instructor may not. So me as an instructor, I have a lot to offer, but other instructors have a lot to offer that I don't. So listen to your instructor, and if you get a new one, try it out. Listen, because they may be able to bring something to the table that your original instructor wasn't able to. So definitely do that. It's something that's very important when it comes to martial arts. You're not going to always stick with the same instructor. As much as you would want to, as much as we as instructors would love to keep you, there are times where you have to move on and go to a new instructor. If you move, your instructor can't follow you to your new area. And it's really hard to come all the way down from, you know, like 15, 20 miles versus where you used to be only 3 or 4 miles. So try out that new instructor. And if you don't like them, then it's okay. You don't have to continue on with them. You can always try to find a new path. And being an instructor, we all know that it's not about our teaching you, like us teaching you, it's about your own path, your own journey. Every martial artist has their own journey, and doing something that you love may change down the line. So like my students, they may love that Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. They might love the throwing aspect or the grappling aspect or the traditional Wing Chun aspect that I was bringing for one of my locations, Muay Thai or Taekwondo or wherever you were at. You know, as you're getting older and getting better with the martial arts, you may find that this style of martial arts, as much as I love it, as much as I want to stick with it, my journey is there's something inside of me that's telling me that this isn't part of my journey anymore and I need to go somewhere else. That's perfectly fine. As an instructor, we're not gonna get our feelings hurt. If a student comes up to us and says, I love being here, but I feel like Muay Thai is more of something that I wanted to try. See where you're going, things like that. We are here to help push you on your journey so you can become a better student and better martial artist. So definitely try out new instructors. Definitely go ahead and try out new places. Try them out because you may find something that you really love. And just like myself, I have multiple black belts, and I didn't stick with just one thing, or else I wouldn't be able to teach Wing Chun, Muay Thai, ITF Taekwondo, Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, 2 forms of karate, McMat, now with Premier, with Krav Maga, and all these other aspects with Filipino martial arts and all these other things, if I just stuck with the same thing. So being a well-rounded martial artist and trying new things, that is perfectly fine. And we as instructors appreciate that. Well, for me, I'm not sure about other instructors, but many instructors that I know love that you want to proceed with your journey to go somewhere else. Even if we feel that your training is not complete, that's on you. So if you feel that, hey, I've learned what I needed to learn from here, and I want to try something different, whether it be wrestling or jiu-jitsu, Krav, or whatever, go for it. Try it out. Stay with your instructor right now and then try it out. Maybe it is a fit, maybe it isn't, but find out, try it out. This is your journey, so go for it, okay? Other than that, I will see you guys in the next one, and I'm definitely going to be doing weapons training for you guys very soon, as well as Sunday workout classes at the park with the way that the weather is now in July of 2021. We'll see how that goes. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next time, okay? Bye.